So several years ago, I used to live down near Wrigley Field, but I still worked up in Evanston, and it was sort of a nice arrangement, and I would always take the L home to and from work, so it worked out pretty well. And there was a health club in Evanston that actually wasn't too far from work and very close to the L stop, so I used to work out there quite a bit. And so one year, I was going down to Cancun with a few of my friends, and we were very excited about going. But one thing I can tell you, that after a cold Chicago winter, I am so pale that when I go out into the sun, I burn to a crisp. And if I'm actually going to enjoy my vacation in Cancun, I needed to have a little bit of a suntan. And the only way to get it in Chicago, of course, is to get a little bit of a tanning bed at the time. So I found out that the health club that I belonged to actually had a few tanning beds, and I thought, hey, all the better. So on a few occasions, I went over to the health club to work out after work, and then I was going over to the tanning bed. Now, the first time I tried it, I realized that the way the lights are situated in the bed itself, they would tan me a little bit unevenly on my face. But if I took a cover stick and kind of did a little swath over my upper lip, then it was sort of a little bit more evenly tanning. So I thought, it's a pretty good system. So I tried that the next few times. So anyway, there was one time that I went to the tanning bed, and as I'm laying in the bed, I realized, oh my goodness, I have left my watch on. And of course, you know, if you're going to be in a tanning bed and getting a good tan, to have a watch line really is not necessary. So I'm still in the bed, I take the watch off, and I put it over and dropped it over the side of the bed onto the floor so that I can pick it up later. And then I continue with my tanning bed session. So after I get done, I pick up all my stuff, load it all up, and then I'm walking to go to the L stop. I'm almost to the L stop, and it's getting sort of late, and I remember, you know what? I left the watch on the floor. I didn't pick it up with my other stuff. So I turn around and I run back to the health club, only to find out that somebody is now in that room. So I asked the woman who's scheduling the rooms, I said, so how long is he going to be in there? And she goes, well, he's got about another half hour. And I said, you know, I left my watch there on the floor, and he hasn't turned it in, has he? And she said, no, he didn't turn it in. I said, well, then it's still on the floor, and, you know, a half hour, it's getting kind of late, and I live downtown, and I have to take the L, and it's getting big, kind of dark, so is there any way we could interrupt him and have him sort of give it to me? And she goes, no, that's not our policy. You're going to have to wait the half hour. But why don't you check your purse and make sure it's not in there? And I said, I'm telling you, it's not in my purse because it was in the bed. I dropped it over the side of the bed. It's on the floor. I know it's on the floor. If he could just give it to me, then I could be on my way. And she said, I'm not going to interrupt him. Would you please check your purse? I said, I am not going to check my purse because I know it's on the floor. All you have to do is just ask him to pass it out the door. So finally she says, all right, whatever. So we walk down the hall, and it's room number 2, and she goes up and she knocks on the door. And he answers from behind the door. And she said, excuse me, the woman who was in there before, she left her watch on the floor. Can you check to see if it's there? And he yells out through the door, no, there's no watch here. And I go running up to the door, and I'm yelling through the door, and I said, look again. It should be under the bed. If you could just open the door and hand it to me, or just kick it out underneath. But it should be under the bed. And he yells back, it's not under the bed. I don't see a watch on the floor anywhere. And I said, look again. I'm sure it's there. He goes, there is no watch under the bed. She goes, miss, would you please check your purse? I said, I'm not going to check my purse. It's under the bed. If he would just look. And he yells back, it is not under the bed. I'm telling you, it is not under the bed. She goes, please, miss, would you please just look in your purse. For me, would you look? I said, well, whatever. So I opened up my purse, and unbelievably, my watch is in there. Because as you would have it, my purse had been open on the floor when I dropped the watch over the edge. It had happened to fall into the purse. Now, I'm incredibly embarrassed because she'd been telling me all along I should check my purse, and of course I did not do that. So now I know it's there. I'm embarrassed. I pack up my stuff, and I'm walking to the L. As I'm almost to the L, I walk past this department store, which is now closed because, of course, it's so late. And when it closes and the lights go off inside, that means that its windows sort of reflect back to you. When I look at my reflection in the window, I see I have this huge cover stick mark on top of my upper lip. So I realize I've been a screaming Mimi pitching my hissy fit in front of her with this huge swath of cover stick, and how she could ever look at me and keep a straight face the entire time, I don't know. So now I'm monumentally embarrassed. I was embarrassed before, now I'm monumentally embarrassed. So for weeks afterwards, when I went back to the health club, I had to wear my dark glasses. And eventually I had to quit and join somewhere else. So that's the tale of why I ended up switching health clubs.